All right, Abusiafo, Mamuina Akwaba. About 2 weeks, about 1 week and some days ago, Malik Basintale, a clash here with Miracles, NPP'S Miracles Aboagye on Roland Walker show on TV3, which we are about to delve deeper in a few. But before that, Mumuni Bawumia so edin sembia to dry. Any kan yentie Mumuni Bawumia na yeria de Malik Basintale ne Miracles de no so atwaso. Listen to Mumuni.
Drivers for her. Yenina your drivers. And then your driver's licenses no. Every 2 years we are not expire. And yes sir. This oko DVL bium echo renew. Then they say yes extended. 8 years, 10 years. Let's make sure you can have the driver's license without having to go to renew it every year. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, Mumuni. Now who at all they do Mumunia? Mumuni Bawumia, why ne yell Mumuni? 1 CD, 2 CD for phones.
Now you the mobile phones, I'm a nipa, not mafia, what here, 1 CD, 2 CD, 1 CD, 2 CD, Kakaka, Namotia, mobile phone before
8 years, 10 years for driver's license. Bawumia nankasa unim nia opel. Ye Mr. Bawumia say, eye 1 CD, anase 2 CD. Eye 8 years, anase 10 years. Which is which? Oh, kasa, be specific. Chenia oba beye. What's your Bawumia ka? Bawumia chese Ghana ha driver's license for now no. So Kwajia a crowd for bare 2 years before you go and then renew. Na Bawumia say oba sa di and ubetwem. Okojo license a crowd bare 10 years before you go and then renew. Tienya Bawumia count. Now in the first place, the Ghana for na Mr. Bawumia say, something we problem be na air solve your Ghana ha. Which problem does it solve? Jack, we are talking about a nation and a car Ghana dear, ye chema Ghana for na obia de kabe 20,000 Ghana cedis. E kra Ghana for ye faso artist aka no so no Bawumia nka ho asemu. Bawumia nam e na sebi ensem hunu ensemu a emfa kwan mu ensemu a ensolve problem bia sansem ye Bawumia ye kan problem be na e solve in Ghana ha. Na empo unimu say sa 2 years na Ghana for drivers they renew their license no eboa edientia because if you go to renew your license at least you go for eye test, you go for ear test and all these kinds of tests. What you see here, ama DVL for ahwe say we are qualified to be on the road and now say we are qualified. Eno crampo no. After all that crampo no Ghana hakan kwenshia jai. Abribia panai Accra Kumasi panai Cape Coast Kwanso panai Hwan panai ye kuye ho sa on the road abribia kan kwenhyankwa. So just imagine say ye license e de ma sa Ghana for drivers for we ya mate for we ya driver for na e kire car obi okrampo a on car da otifie ni atam license e de akwahye ne nsem. Just imagine say these people onya sa card na ekura ni be 10 years on call for eye checkup, ear checkup, hwan on bi Ghana so de koko nko na ye ni abribia koko dokokoti koko besi na ni ama na ni efra na so besi na so na sa nipa no kura car na mkwan so obeku nipa na Bawumia nkasa na dwe ye adwuba debi o sabi o Bawumia no ultimate na se edwin se nipa na dwe no Bawumia dwen ye adwuma problem be na solve afa na mo be wu se Bawumia chemu say your term license e de kra obi a just 10 years time and sana nipa na say renew dia ene me say Ghana for afa na mo ba be wu abrochefo ufra abroche ba Ghana wo aka oka na se wu nim na ko han driver ni obekun edientia ne license no e kra no be almost 10 years ni on call checkup because already Ghana ha ye nko for medical checkup and this abrochira almost every 6 months or call for eye checkup and blah blah. Ghana ha ye call for medical checkup. Just say yaria bobi obetina people, memamro na people na ya body to way. Ubedwa ya sabia doctor say dead on arrival. It is how 2 years na eboa e ma ye check a driver for no and about me a che say oba be ye free wo imagine the number of accidents. Eradi Nyankopon. It when na mo pe. Hi, or show crowd me. It when na mo pe. This guy is clueless. Onim nia o kan o. Me say Bawumia no why so desperate asem bi obeka bia. Nyansa bie nimu eye nkwasi asem eye jimisem nia o pa ni to me. Desperation eseti in na ujimi oka emuasem eka nkwasem. Eti nsem Bawumia kan na ekrokra bu ni ho anyansa wo. Can't you see? Eti muhu ye. Wa bodam. Mumuni, me say, wa bodam mumuni. Na dwe nye we jimia bodam. Some of the Ghana shenensa obe crash him. Already what you say? Mon fast here no mami. Me paste here no na so we are was actually say drivers. The license now just a 10 years time, 1 decade. Just a 1 decade, 10-year time. Before you come for the renewal. With this 10 years, you know. Was soon be see you when in the be frau and one is a onam kwanso sa obian check me see we were bodam. Na dream ye. Let's move on to the clash between NDC's Malik Basintale and the NPP'S Miracles Aboagye. Ayeni kan yemfa miracles de anon hyase concerning dumso ya ha na miracles be hwe na gidegide and high and this imresto no dumso na so no tariff no kosro de and cost of for adjumayefo de kasa na afi de edru Malik Basintale so na ode ma no pa point by point intieni kan yentie ensem wa miracles de to na yewia ya de Malik de no so atoaso. Listen,
the good news about the current situation is that whilst we are having increase, we have the power and the water flowing.
3 years.
During their period, after all the rants, after all his expertise and energy, after all the emotions, when they were in government, whilst we did not have the power, they were still increasing tariffs. How dare you? How dare you sit on national TV this early morning? Come talk about tariff increase when we have electricity. How dare you? Roland, if we are comparing performance, especially when it comes to energy, we'll compare 2 things. We'll compare the service availability and we'll compare the cost. Let's even assume that we are leveled up when it comes to cost because you were increasing it in the midst of the chaos, at least under this government. And I didn't want to go, you realize that when I started my conversation, I didn't want to go down the line of trying to, because I know in my deepest of heart that when it comes to utility services, we should not blame it on anybody. We should go to the utility services company and get them to be efficient. But he's brought it on. How dare you? You were increasing tariffs for us when we didn't have the power. Today, in 2016, by this time, when we leave this studio and we step out, we are going to call our homes to ask them if the light is gone off. And then, if today is Wednesday, the next time you expect electricity is Friday morning. And then it will go off Saturday evening. People died on hospital beds. People's cold stores collapsed. People's barbering shops collapsed because they didn't have the electricity to even run it, for them to even pay more. Hairdressers had to lock up their shops because there was not even electricity for them to power their hair dryers, for them to even pay more. In fact, in 2016, a lot of Ghanaians would have wished to be paying more so they have the electricity than when they were paying and they didn't have the electricity. NDC should just shut up and let us enjoy our electricity. And let us work with the utility services company, hold them to account, and get them to be more efficient. But you dare not. Malik, you dare not talk about utility services in this country. Shut up already, and let's run our country.
Guys, how open to qua and chess a listen to me carefully. You say, we open to qua, it doesn't mean say hoarding. Guys, how point in this say conversation should not be about doom so free hin by yen or dear there be, because intelligent people solve problems, but foolish people love to complain, to apportion blames. Whilst intelligent people are solving problems, the foolish people are saying, say, and now they buy, and now and those are the foolish people, and they are not problem solvers. Conversation no is say, dum so no why ne solve ye, aban bay, man penny bay, party bay na a solve dum so. That should be the conversation. Say, party bay na a solve dum so. Let us have an intelligent discourse. Na munyai sa de hunu. Ha miracles e dia Jiminy kwasiato onimo hwe. Kofu we adwene say. So to make am brofo anese unimu nyansa. Eye false. Brofo no eye broni kasa o. Enye measurement for wisdom. So the fact is say we become brofo to me rato ne nche say nipa ne nim nyansa chen ya say bi onte brofo. Afe yenkotie Imuaya Malik Basintale the man. Now betia say ye ka intelligent enye kwasi ampani we miracles one white penny Malik Basintale. Listen to Malik.
In other words, when you were asked who fixed himself, when your minister, not you, your minister was asked who fixed himself, and to tell us a single megawatt that was brought on board, could you do that? You sat on air and alluded to the fact that John Dramani Mahama and the NDC solved Dumso, because we have a practical explanation as to how Dumso was solved. In 2007, when there was a shortfall, okay, of electricity supply in this country, what did your government do? You went around and looked for pastors from Suhum, Apega, Tema Community 1, and carried them to Akosombo Dam to go and put their hands and pray for the dam. That's so that we get water and Dumso will be solved. They Kofo to get boss, Kofo. To the pastors, it is online to Akosombo from Suhum and Apega to go and pray. John Mahama came and said, Dumso is not a spiritual problem. It's a technical one. So we brought car power, we brought Ameri, we brought power batches and beefed up megawatts in this country, electricity generation megawatts in this country to about 5,000 megawatts. What have you done in the resolution of Dumso? You have come on board. You have met all these free things. And the first thing you even thought of doing was to corrupt a power batch President Mahama brought. Ameri, the president, took a pen and paper and they sat down and dubiously planned how to dupe and rob the states. Ballooned a contract that was 510 million to 1.3 million. When the president was stripped naked, he was exposed again as the mother serpent of corruption. He sat there and said he was misled and that he wasn't reading, he wasn't thinking right. That was why he intended duping the state of this country. These are things we should be talking about.
Listen to facts. Listen to proper communication. What are we talking about? What are we discussing? Dumso na yeka hwasem. Na why ne solve Dumso? Conform reso. Osuma asofo say, "Mon kwa Akosombo dam kobom paye." Just look at the mediocrity. Look at the level of folly. Look at the level of stupidity. Say mampeni kofo esuma asofo say, "Go to Akosombo dam site and go and pray." Na enso mremu. Na Ghana for enya kania. Minim. Se na kofo ye Moses o. Se no ye hwan yo mentia sie. Freemason ya osuma asofo. Se monko Akosombo enkobo mpaye. You see how they deceive you. You see how they fool you. You see how they misbehave when they are in power because they know say they can always rely on tribal votes. Ekufado mresonso galamsey osuma asofo say go to the galamsey sites, go and pray. Na minimu say sebi yo ensuo no eni ntio kwaye no ensemfuo amna no sebi eso nkatao minim nia na opa akire. Enti NPP mreso no they solve problems with prayers. Now so eba NDC they solve problems with practical approach. It in coffee by ye to amna $58 million. Say they say I saw die diama Israel nyame. So $58 million no could have been used to construct an ultra modern sports stadium for you. Now so coffee the etu amna donko edintia ye ji asofudi. Bawumia so kasa meba no e wo say yesa kra tam aban sika de ma asofo.
Then the question is church and taxes. Are we going to tax churches? My view on this is simple. In fact, that's why I say that if you share a Juma church ayeno, in fact, we should rather be paying them rather than they paying us. Unless you don't understand the work the church has done. If you're looking at the buildings, the way they try to keep the society together, the church, the universities, the hospitals, the schools, it's massive. It's just massive. Many churches have hundreds of schools. Massive. So I don't see, and I will not have a situation where we are taxing the churches. We rather want to give churches incentives to support what government is doing. I want us to be partners.
Just look at the level of idiocy, mediocrity, the level of incompetence. Obi suma asofo say, go to Akosombo Dam, go and pray. Na insumremo. Ekufa don so ba ya, osuma asofo say, go to Galamsey site and go and pray. Bawumia so ba o kire say, yensan tam abansi campo enfama asofo. Me say NPP imumpenifo yankwasiafo mekasa ya buntie. Why na e solve dum so John Dramani Mahama o ye den e solve ye. Okra plant bi. Ye tonidin a Mary plant. EDBC Western region. AC Atiabo gas plant. Because our plant, Mary plant, relied on gas supply. It is John Dramani Mahama is a Ghana gas company say and supplies our planting with enough gas and power. Na Emma Ghana for Kenya ininaso. En kofi bayi chreme me macho. E kura John Dramani Mahama efa so o solve dum so. So say enye Mahama na embum e Bawumia anase na Ekufuado achreme kwan kro a Bawumia ne boss Ekufuado fa so a ye solve dum so. Macho me de onso chreme onso de. Yen penokre. Sa Mary plant John Dramani Mahama at the $3.5 million. And a crefra broche de bag Ghana transport fare. Eko see Western region. Ekufuado any Bawumia bayi, they have not been able to add a single megawatt of power. Now so omo asa high low bed. Unim low bed. Ahode mensa ka low bed. Ako Western region. Ako tam sa plant na Mahama de ba ya o solve dum so no. Aye no krampo no ye di Mahama atem se Mahama ejimi a onimu nyansa no. Abesi Kumase. Ato ni di K1 TPP at a cost of transport on kwao, a cost of almost or 40 plus million US dollars. Omu wi binia ensi hwao. Almost tam abansika e the aya pipeline. Are transporting gas in every Western region Ghana gas Abakumasi to power those plants. Now, how can you compare NPP to NDC? How can you compare Nkwasiafui to John Dramani Mahama, the nation builder? Just compare the two. Just think. Kofu Nkwasiafui. Entiana ye pemampania o solve dum so a ye John Dramani Mahama nanu ya dum so asaba edientia every 2017 eba isan say na John Dramani Mahama asolve dum so nti Ghana for kan ye gina so a I think about 2 years ago and adum so emotions ye den edientia Ekufuado any Bawumia ban bayi ekwan ya Mahama fa so a o de solve dum so no omu entimi enkrabi nka ho sa plant no omu entimi enkrabi nka ho. And mind you say Ghana for war na population kwa na ekosoro. Ghanaians are buying washing machines, you are buying air conditioners. They say Ghana for obiase dan ya aircon AC. We nyina no eyusu enyinam kanea. What you say pa? Enko that's why John Dramani Mahama ekire say
mobile phone na Ghana e bro nipa e Ghana. I say anka teacher mobile phone na say abofra ya wo na ya ono so mobile phone bi ekata e mobile because Ghana was 27 million mobile phone lines. Na population here say 25 enti 2 million bro so 25 mpanka 25 and na chese abofra ya won nempo ono so kuta mobile phone ni bi na anaju bia ye nyina ye plug mobile phone ye charge we nyina ewe kanea enti ewo se abaye bebe bia ewo se ye hwese se na yesi eyusu iram kanea no kono ewo se ye di bi ka ho
ewo se abaye bia ba enyinam kanea no udi bi ka ho se ne be Ghanaians will never ever go back to Dumso. And coffee by 8 years in Yenfe Binka home. Asa tam $40 million and over. Akota Mahama Dieno, every Western region, Abisi Kumase, Atunidin K1 TPP. So how can you compare NDC to NPP? How can you compare Bawumia Ekufuado to John Dramani Mahama, the nation builder? Who compare enye ye? And these are the facts. Yen country Ghana for no crack. Say coffee by and the Yepeman Penia or Sovi Dumswa on record, and no other person but John Dramani Mahama. And ya Bawumia and ne license 17 walker. He said they were DVL agent. Me say mumuni ni munyansa, nyamike wunti, mumuni onimu nyansa. Inti say ye pese Ghana kwa nimua. Ye jampe John Dramani Mahama enye ye. Si ye pese Ghana kwa nimua, sa ye tutia John Dramani Mahama, enye possible Ghana kwa nim. Editia, John Dramani Mahama is the one with the key to your success at this point in time. Tieni America choni. Enti Emma will be another on record. Say Ghana for people penny tisi krum say ye man penny or solve dumswa or no any John Dramani Mahama abaya solve dumso a NDC abay. Let this sink into your head. Senebeya come a year 2024 December 7th unton kwasiaba ubetuaba ama nation builder John Dramani Mahama asabetua ni nyuma panoso sa simple as that. Sa simple as that. Sa simple as that. Yebusia for bedimbesia sani abonyina amunim bedin the chairman Freemind. Enjoy the rest of your time and I'll see you in my next video. Makram.
Mama ba ye yankasa ye wo hono kranya mienim se obeka nyankopon so no kra. Bibia akoso. Isi ade ye hu ano. Eno kranya mieni bibia eti wankasa hwe asetena yete wa ha. Edwa ehye yenye 3 years ne bai. Obe gina ha no muka kire se obesi dwa no obeye ne se besi ne. Onye ye. Oh. Ne Bawumia one akufado nya mon tiship ba ko no. Ani apprentice the master. Oh, ne de jaka. Oma wuti oma so da yes vice o. President ni ho vice ne wo. Obia beka se e bia minister mponi ano. Ono president ne kan obetumi na aka se o oma no se ne ekono. Se ni. Ti enye ni se. Ebe wukakura na wanya obi anim se waka na anya yi na we de utimu tipo ne se ade na se ye wi awo be de obasisa de munya akakwa enya motie digital man